Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss about the human eye. The human eye is similar to camera, and the eyeball that we have is approximately 2.3 centimeter diameter. The different parts of the eyeball are like cornea, iris, lens, and retina. These are the very important parts of the eyes. This is what it is compared. The eyeball is compared with a camera. So retina is similar to film, iris is similar to diaphragm of the camera, pupil is similar to aperture, and the choroid is similar to black paint. So this is the important diagram of the eyeball, human eyeball. So we have choroid, cornea, iris, pupil, aqueous humor, crystalline lens, and we have ciliary muscles which are holding the lens, and then the retina, optic nerve, and the vitreous humor. Okay, first of all we are going to know about what is cornea. Cornea is a thin transparent bulged membrane on the front of the eyeball. You can see in the diagram. This is the diagram. This is what eyeball looks like from the outside. So cornea is a thin transparent bulged membrane on the eye. Light enters the eye through the cornea, and most of the refraction of the light rays occurs at the outer surface of the cornea. So basically light enters through the cornea here. And next is the iris. Iris is a kind of a muscular diaphragm, or the dark muscular diaphragm, which is just behind the cornea. You can see in the diagram. Yes, so just behind the cornea is a dark muscular diaphragm, and it controls the size of the pupil. This is the pupil, black color pupil. Size of the pupil is basically controlled by the iris. Pupil is basically an aperture which regulate the amount of the light entering the eye. So basically how much amount of light will enter to the eyeball depends upon the pupil, which is aperture. And next the lens. So what kind of lens is found in human eyes? So here it is a kind of fibrous and jelly-like material present in the lens. It forms an inverted real image of that object on retina. So very important. What kind of image is formed on the retina? So the image of the object formed on the retina is a type of like inverted real image. And lens can adjust the focal length to focus object at different distances on the retina. So this is the important role of the lens. Next is the retina. Retina is a innermost layer of the eyeball, which is a very the delicate membrane with many light sensitive cells are present on the retina. And what are the cells of the retina? Here we will know in the rods and cones basically, and these cells get activated upon illumination, basically the light, and after activation it generates the electrical signals, the impulses, and the signals are basically sent to the brain by optic nerves. So you can see here the optic nerves in the diagram. here this is the optic nerves. Okay, so retina, when their cells are activated by illumination, the impulses are sent to the brain through the optic nerve, and signals are sent to the brain. Okay, so brain interpret the signals to perceive the objects now. So here you can see the iris sometime relax, sometime contract. So when we enter from bright light to dim light, okay, which happens, there are some bright rooms, there are some dim or dark room. So when we enter from bright light room to dim light room, we cannot see object clearly for some time, like it happens in the theater, okay, movie theater. So we go from the bright light to the dim light, so it happens, so that we cannot see object clearly for some time, few seconds, then it becomes clear. In bright light, what happens in bright light? So iris contract the pupil. Iris, you can see here, the iris contract the pupil, okay, so that the less light enter the eye. So this happens in the bright light. In dim light, iris relaxes to expand the pupil so that the more light enters. So similarly, here we can see the changes in the iris. The iris, what happens in bright light? Iris get contracts. Okay, iris contracts and the pupil, iris contract the pupil, and in the dim light, iris relaxes to expand the pupil. So accordingly, the size of the pupil becomes less or high. Okay, so when iris contract, pupil becomes smaller and less light enters in the eye, and when the iris relaxes and expand the pupil, so more light enters in the dim light. So this is what we studied about the human eye structure. Okay, now we are going to know about the effects of vision, defects of vision. Okay, the defects of visions are basically of three types: myopia, okay, myopia, and then hypermetropia and presbyopia. Okay, so you can see here there are two types of visions are shown in the diagram. This is the normal vision. We can see near object and far object, which is very clear. In myopia vision, we can see the short distance are very clear, whereas the long distance are not clear. And hyperopia, yes, vision. So the short distance is blurred and the long distance are very clear, right? So here myopia means nearsightedness, means you can see the near object very clearly. Okay, so here a person can see nearby object clearly but cannot see distant object, and a myopia person has the far point nearer than infinity. This is caused due to the formation image of a distant object in front of the retina. This is the reason excessive curvature of the lens and the elongation of the eyeball. And how can we correct? So if a person wear the spectacle with the concave lens of suitable power, then it can be corrected. It brings the image back on the retina. Next is hypermetropia. Here a person can see, normally a person can see distant objects very clearly, but in hypermetropia the person cannot see nearby objects distinctly. Okay, so nearby object is not seen but far objects are easily visible. The near point is farther away from the normal near point, and such a person must keep a reading material beyond 25 centimeter from the eye. This is what the defect, and this is because the light rays from a close object are focused at a point behind the retina. And what is the reason? The focal length of the eye lens is too long and eyeball becomes too small. This is the main reason uh, due to which the hypermetropia occurs. And how can we correct this kind of hypermetropia? So treatment is a person can use the spectacles with the convex lens of a suitable power, which will provide additional focusing to form an image on the retina. And the last one is a presbyopsia. Here the power of accommodation of the eye decreases with aging. The most people, the near object gradually recedes away, and so comfortable and distinct vision of nearby objects is not possible. It is due to the gradual weakening of the ciliary muscles and diminishing flexibility of the eye lens. So in presbyopsia, with this usually occurs in the old age people. So the reason behind this presbyopsia is it's the aging that where it causes weakening of the ciliary muscle and the lens become you know uh, it reduces its flexibility. So many people may have both myopia and hypermetropia. They require bifocal lens also. The upper part is concave lens for distant vision and the lower part is for convex lenses for near vision, right? So these are some people who uses both type of lenses in a single spectacles. They have both myopia as well hypermetropia, and they wear bifocal lenses where upper part is concave type, which is helpful in the you know uh, uh, helpful in the long distance, and convex lens help in the short distance near vision. Refractive defects can also be corrected with the contact lens or through surgery. So this is what another kind of treatments are prescribed, that contact lens can be used instead of using spectacles of different type of lens. Thank you.